Because like the voice problem could appear, because last time I listened to our class like briefly at the beginning, I had so much trouble with the microphone. So when you talk like that, it's all right, but when you're recording, that was a little bit awful. It's still bearable, so you can still get back to that, but the quality of sound. So I apologize to all of you if you did happen to get back to the video of our last class. So, but hope you still could get some information about that and refreshment. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be just a minute. I think it's updating now because I just installed. But in the meantime, how are you guys doing? How is everybody's spirit now that you all moved to home? All right. Yeah. For me, it's very different to be honest, and quite challenging because as Maxim very nicely kind of introduced me, we have a lot of activities that take place in a physical form. All right, recording should be on. Uh, yes, nice. We are we solved that. Let me get back to my presentation. So this Zoom. Yes, just a second. Sorry, guys. Uh, Alright. What I was saying is that it was a challenge for me as well because I had to move the whole accelerator program online. That involves a bunch of workshops and boot camps and stuff like that. So we are all learning as we go. It's quite experimental era with Corona situation going on. But I hope you're all safe. I hope you will social distance, and I'm so glad to hear stuff like this going on because we have to keep up the good work as if everything is normal. Enough maybe of my face. I'll turn the camera off for the moment in order to share the screen. Is that okay with everybody?
Fine with me. What about the rest?
All right. Cool. Let's share the screen. Can everybody see the share screen applying?
Yes, we can.
Cool.
Yep.
Yes. Great. So I'll just do a brief introduction and maybe explain why am I here today, having this great experience to share my little knowledge with you guys. Um, Basically, I am running accelerator program that takes very early stage startups who are in what we call ideation phase. So startups that just started working on their ideas and have a basic prototype or a mock-up or a demo. So we help these startups develop with help of coaches and mentors and get them as close to MVP level as possible. I understand this is a startup course, but if at any point I started using all these strange abbreviations like UCD, UX, and MVP and whatnot, feel free to verge in and to just ask me, hey, what is this, what is that? And I'm a little bit in that bubble, and sometimes it just slips away. So please point out anything that is not very clear because clarity will be very important. So we are both on the same page. I'm super also happy to hear that there's such a course happening in HAMK, and that is right. I'm also a HAMK graduate, okay, HAMK alumni, and in my opinion, Maxim is doing an amazing job putting this course together. And I hope to see many more to come because something like this was really missing. And when I had my first startup, I was second year in IB in HAMK, and we had to go to Tampere every single day for anything startup related. So it's time to um, connect some ties with Tampere agenda for us today, if it's fine with all, I'll just briefly go through what kind of stuff we're gonna go through, and because we have a lot of ground to cover, so to say, and I'll try to be as concise as possible without skipping steps. We are gonna talk about team today. Team aspect of startup is something that is, in my opinion, taught only once startup founders start working on their ideas. It's very little attention and spotlight put on it in general theory, although team is, I can't emphasize how much how important it is and how crucial it is to the final result. In that sense, we're gonna explore teams a little bit. We'll go through stuff like team dynamics. We'll explore something that in my accelerator we really nurture and we really religiously follow, called user-centered design. We'll go later to details of that, and I also want to see if any of you is familiar with this concept. Um, there is very interesting analogy including startup and marriage, and I get to hear this from one investor that I also work with, and some stats blew my mind how those two are different yet alike. So we'll shine a light on that a little bit. Then we're gonna go to um, basically a lot of whys related to startup. Um, we're gonna at the very end explore top mistakes that startups make, in my opinion. One disclaimer: everything that you hear from me today presents result of my experience and my personal opinions. So what it means is that please question all of this stuff. Uh, Feel free to challenge stuff that I say. I will be more than happy if somebody who has a little bit different perspective to offer, and we discuss and go through that as well. So that is some kind of basic plan. Do we have some questions regarding the agenda before I start with the first point?
Silence normally means no, but
Silence, yeah, I'll take that as a no. All right, now we're gonna jump on purpose on point three. So, the oldest question in startup world is team versus idea. Though those two are yin and yang, those two are two halves of one whole, I couldn't really ignore this because there's still strong myth about idea as such. I get approached by a lot of people here in Tampere, and also when we go outside of Finland for different startup events. We have people who have ideas, which is amazing. We all have ideas, don't we? So, idea of having an idea or perception of what it means to have one is often overrated. It means that, okay, I have this amazing idea that's going to change the world, and most likely will, but then there is very little structure in that perception of what it means to have an idea. Idea means, in this case, only a starting capsule of something that will be proven. If you are familiar with a name called Guy Kawasaki, Guy Kawasaki is his big name in startup sector, startup theory, and he was one of the pioneers of Apple too, and he was working in early days with all the leaders. So he writes a lot about startup theory. So he often says that ideas are easy, implementation is hard. So it's not about ideas, it's about ideas making happen. Talking about that, who makes those ideas happen is our next question.
we will actually meet ideas of Guy Kawasaki on our next class. So thank you for mentioning him.
Beautiful. It's so nice that you include inputs of such people like Guy Kawasaki or Steve Lang and so on. I'm not big on quotes. I won't have too many here, but nothing is more powerful than a team who is here now and hungry for good implementation. In that sense, let's explore a little bit team aspects. If I try to break down into most relevant categories, where we start is founders. That's where the whole story of startup starts in all cases. The responsibility that founders carry is much bigger than anybody can imagine, and often underestimated. Those two go hand in hand. Founders' leadership is something that drives startup in most certain way. The steering wheel in every startup, and in the same time sharing big responsibility, is always in founders' role. So you in this course, you'll be going through a bunch of lectures, you'll be going through a lot of activities, giving you a sneak peek into startup world. So I really hope that some of you will be, figuratively speaking, infected with this startup virus and will want to develop your idea, because you should. You should try that if you have something you really are certain you wanna go for it. Keep in mind that you are the founder and you are really in charge of calling the shots. You're in charge of facing the unknown. You are in charge of figuring stuff out that we have no idea how to do. Just like this Corona situation. Like, talk to a lot of people who are entrepreneurs. They'll tell you this is tough times for entrepreneurs, and entrepreneurs are forced to reinvent the whole concept, to change the way the whole business is being made. To give you one non-startup example, I have a friend who's running a theater here in Tampa. So, long story short, this whole Corona situation is hitting small businesses and entrepreneurs the strongest, which is the saddest story. So, if he doesn't go online with his theater, they'll have to go bankrupt in a month and a half. Those are his financial projections. So what they did, they have now theater classes in place online. If somebody would tell me this 2 months ago, I would say you're crazy. That's never gonna happen. Theater online, it doesn't work. But apparently it does. And what works there is the founders, the guy behind that who carries all that, who said, no, this is the only way to survive. So we are survival species, and we fight to overcome this obstacle as well. So keep that in mind. I overemphasize this founder's role, not to scare you, but on the opposite, to really put all the cards on the table and you will have a realistic preview of what it takes to do that. Then from founders we go to team itself. A lot of questions in your mind right now when you go through those team little elements, especially if we talk about hiring, you will be thinking something like, well, how do I hire someone? We in the startup world, we have so little resources in the beginning stage. How do I engage somebody who is really good and who is huge help of my team to share this path with me and go along with it? So we'll stumble upon those issues as well. Team diversity is something that is topic we can discuss a lot. Every time we open applications for my accelerator batch, we get great ideas, and sometimes we get teams of, say, 4 of team members, and they are all for business developers. Let's use that term for the sake of easier understanding. So if those 4 guys who are brilliant and they have amazing idea and all that, they are developing an app and there's like 0 IT skills in the team, well, you do the math, right? It's really difficult to have that team go really far. In that sense, diversity in every sense of the word is important. Another aspect that I we'll just briefly talk about this second generalist and specialist um, division. Like in less than 15 years, there was a big paradigm change in the world, in professional world, where we went from being generalists in like early 20th century to being specialists in later part of second part of 20th century to now again lacking generalists because most of people are specialists. So every good, compact, and very ambitious high-class startup team always have perfect balance of these two. And in that sense, getting to the last point, my example probably was self-explanatory about homogeneous teams. Try to avoid really looking for um, team members to join who have for a replica of skills you already have. If teams grow from 10 to 20, then that's a different example. That's a different story. But if you go from 1 to 3 and you hire two more, if you're a visual designer, you hire two more visual designers, unless you have very talented IT and business development skills. I don't know how fast the pace of the development will be.
Can I ask you a question, please?
Yes, yes, yes.
And is it okay if we ask during the talk, or it's better to ask after? What?
It's best if we ask right now so we don't hold out. So please interrupt anytime you have a comment or question.
Thank you, because you touched I think very essential point here that like team only of business people like likely doesn't work in the startup world. What about teams only gathered with technical people? Does it work more likely, or it still require this kind of balanced teams?
I think it all depends on the team, and as that's why I wanted to point out the disclaimer. Some of the conclusions that I'll be presenting here are as general as they can be. So you might easily find a team of three. Take HAMK. You can find three great founders who are all IB students, and they might prove me wrong. But then again, there'll be one exception that confirms that rule. I think the same goes for any homogeneous team, regardless of skills. And when I say skills, I don't mean university diploma, because like again, I am not take this also with reserve, but I'm not a big believer in university diplomas as such. I think it's a great to go through degree and to have one, but then personal skills are laying in different in all kind of spaces that we will discover later on.
Let's not discourage students for graduate from HAMK. Please graduate. like
Yes, yes. This comes from a guy who graduated, so I'm not a dropout, and I really don't support people. Again, another myth, right? Like you drop out, you become next Steve Jobs or Mark Zuckerberg. Because they all drop out and they become millionaires. That is it's not true. We have to let's not take anything away from school. But I'm trying to say, for the sake of understanding, I don't mean your profession by default, but what your real skills are. So in that sense, I met a lot of people, and some of them they are multidisciplinary. They have amazing talent. They are coders. They are designers. They are great at business development. They are amazing with I don't know, you name it. They're full stack founders. And when you meet one like that, it's really amazing. The problem is that those are rare species, and you don't stumble upon profiles like that very often. Do we have some more questions on that point? All right. Silence means no. We agree. One other thing, when we talk about startups, you gotta keep in mind that this is a discipline where we are forced to execute under time pressure and other types of pressures in very uncontrolled environments. So in that sense, planning is has different role in startups compared to corporate jobs, which by dynamics by nature are very different basically. So in that sense, doers are something that I will emphasize a lot, and I put that doers over planners, not that one excludes the other, but execution and implementation is really the religion here. It's all about being able to execute fast and learn from failures and so-called fail fast mentality that we also talk a lot about that in our methodology in the accelerator. And right, like what we do in any startup, whatever we do, it's all about solving somebody's problem. Like we do not sell product or service. We don't do that. People don't buy our product service. They solve problems. That's why they pay money and what we call buyer for. So it's all about creating value and putting that value to the needs of customers. Like we capture that value in the sphere of need that solves one problem. That's where value comes from. Otherwise, it makes no sense for anybody to have that product. Customer sentimentality is a must. If you have teams who don't get that aspect, and that's again in practice often, like awfully often the case, then you have all other ingredients in the game. If you have ego in the game, really bad for going far. If you have strong assumptions without a will to question those, again, really game breaking. Sometimes in the last batch, for example, we had a team who was really reluctant to change any aspect of their idea, although more than 12, 13 mentors pointed out the same issue. So with somebody like, with people who are too much in love with the product they are developing, it comes around anyways, but a little bit later, and usually time and resources and energy or even burnouts are at stake. So we really have to understand that in bigger picture, our job is nothing more but thinking about customers and solving customer problems. So we are there to help customers. To give final example on this team culture aspect, I'm not gonna take specific sports because I understand some of you are into hockey, some of you are into football, into basketball, tennis, some of you probably don't even like sports. But in every sport team, unless it's tennis, which is individual sport, in collective sports you have very clear division of roles within the team. If we talk about the best teams in any sport, they are one compact group of people working together. If you have, let's take football, if you have 10 strikers in football, 10 attacking players, it's very difficult to win a championship like that. If you have 10 defensive players, again, very good. So everybody has to know its role, and everybody has to be multidisciplinary, so one can cover the other's responsibility when needed, and vice versa. Finally, we talked about hiring and how to enlarge your team and therefore make implementation faster and compact. There's something that we call giving ownership. 95% of startup founders in early stage, meaning first 1 year, they are running on very low resources. Very few of those founders or teams have money, or they can afford to hire somebody in the normal way, how we imagine hiring. So we have to get creative here. That's why I personally love working with startup people, because there's a lot of charisma, there's a lot of creativity, there's a lot of craziness, if you will, at the end, that I love. Like, these people think outside of the box. You always have to adopt that mentality and think, what gives me the reason to join your team if I am really skilled person and I can be that X factor which people, especially now, in my opinion, more than ever, because our generation is more about impact than about pure money. Like that's again another paradigm change that happened in the last 5, 10 years. So if you are solving a problem that we both care about, I will very likely be joining you in the same fight over fighting the wrong fight for more money. Especially in Western Europe, this is the case because uh, economical situation is a little bit different than in some developing countries. So, like in Finland at the moment, if you have a job, money is if you have a like full-time job, right? Money is there anyways at some point. I mean, you might not make a lot, but you will have right for one modest number. So it's always the question what's next, and people care about impact these days. It's all about impact. If you are solving food waste problem, then people who are really crazy and who care about that will join your team even regardless that there's no money at the beginning, because you are together working towards that goal as well. And money shouldn't be the main motivation in my opinion anyways. So try to think for those of you who might end up being startup founders one day. I hope all of you um, have have that have that little perspective in mind. Try to sell the vision. Try to convince the other how you 2, 3, 5 are gonna change the world within that sector and problem you're solving, instead of talking about anything else. Talking about how we don't have money and therefore we cannot support. So like it's so great to see that money takes less and less, smaller and smaller role in that sense. So be creative, be always passionate about what you do. That really is a game changer also when it comes to investors and investments. In our program I get to work with between 15 and 20 different investors. Some of our startups already got investments after 6 months, and I try to learn from those patterns that occurring in all those examples. Investors can smell fakeness the way dog can smell fear. They
Al-
know if
Also,
you're
I think.
making. Yes, Maxim.
Yeah, I just, I'm sorry for interrupting. I just wanted to emphasize because here's a really, really crucially important thing Mirza is talking about, and I also like with when I was listening, I also thinking like if you want to join company, if you are not starting your own company but you want to join some company, those are criteria which you also need to consider. Join someone who has this vision, smell this kind of fakeness, because it's actually you should trust your gut and you should trust your intuition on that. So if something looks broken, so it's probably better to join even smaller company, but with true vision, which correlates with your morals and with your vision of the world. Rather than just go for any company for status or something like that. So emphasizing this from both point of view, like whether you are a startup founder or whether you are looking for a company, maybe you will join also startup, but try to try to sense this kind of idea.
Yes, that's very, very true. And also to add one thing before we move on, although we talk heavily about founders, it doesn't mean that one has to be founder to be working in a startup. A lot of examples are from the opposite end when people who don't have their own ideas find a way to join the team that they are passionate about try to take some stats out. Okay, yeah, let's start. Just a second. All right. So these are some stats about startup survival rate. So I'll be sharing these slides with you afterwards, and you can revisit those numbers again. But just to briefly go through them, you'll notice that as with every next year, we have less and less active startup companies. If we go to the very extreme, so in this sense that we measured up to 5 years, fifth year, 60% are alive and fighting. It also talks about competitiveness of startup world. It also talks about how rough of a path it is. Generally speaking, some stats, although they change every year, they say that 93.5% of startup companies die within 7-8 years. So stats are not in our favor. That's bad news. Good news is that that doesn't mean anything, because we strive to be one of these 60s, or one of that 5-6% at the very end, if you will. So those stats are interesting for another reason. I got this analogy, as I said, from one investor who delivered whole keynote speech on exactly this topic. So I'll just try to surface a little bit here. I did some math, and in Finland, statistics show that, let's take 2014 and 18, like a 4-year gap. So roughly speaking, in 2014, you have, imagine that those are both marriages from that year and divorces that happened very same year, which is not the case, but for the sake of math, that means that 52% of marriages end up in divorce. Then if we jump to 2018, that would mean that around, I would say, 55% of marriages end up in divorce. Or if we combine those two, so let's take marriages contracted 2014, and then 4 years later, divorces on those marriages, we get around 49-50% of marriages end up in divorce. It's similar number when it comes to startups splitting in first 4 to 5 years. It varies between 45 and 53-4%, depending on the country. So those two are awfully similar, and they just open one new perspective that tells us being in a startup team is a long-term dedication, just like marriage is. So one doesn't marry every single month or every single year. Well, some people probably do, but they are not representative of the whole sample. What I'm trying to say is that if we go down this road, keep in mind that we are committing to something that's dignified. We will not make that 1 billion in the coming 62 years, but this is a long journey, and get ready for that. Yeah, there's some repetition I should have been this. Cool. Is somebody of you, but Maxim, familiar with user-centered design? Alright, again, silence, no, I guess. So user-centered design is really important in early stage of formative startup period. We do a lot of user-centered design activities in Redbrick Accelerator here in Tampere, and it's one very simple process line gets very multidisciplinary in a lot of ways. Um, User service design helps us explore users from one other's perspective. Uh, Working out users and understanding their need is crucial to value capture of whatever we are building. So when I say users, I'll be using users a lot. So user means also customer. Because sometimes we have customers who are not end users, just the way we have products who might be services, right? So if I say product, that also includes services. If I say user, it also includes customers. Um, Iteration and testing is good morning in style world. You always go validate any assumption or any feature you have developed. That's why there's no anymore building a I don't know, we build an app for 6 months and then we go out there, test the app, and then people just say, sorry man, like your app sucks, I don't wanna buy it. Then of course like it's very bitter truth to swallow. It's like what it means, it's a great app and it does this and that. Yeah, but I don't see why I should use it. Just I don't like it. Simple as that. So instead of that, we now are in constant communication with our users, although very early stage. And keep in mind, we are still not talking about purchase. This is about constant development and proof of concept. So later on, we're gonna go through different phases of development, and product market fit comes way early when we have few times tested MVP and we have something fully functional. Now we talk about problem solution fit. Again, one of the terms that you might hear every now and then. But problem solution fit is exactly this. So we have a thing we are developing that was supposed to solve a certain problem. So what we do, we go out there and ask our target group, hey, this is the problem you're having. How can we help solve this problem within the context of our product business? So it's all about back and forth and constant communication. And again, now we live in digital world, so it's never been more easy to get 10,000 opinions in, if you will, 1 hour Teams. So we introduce a bunch of tools that help startup teams be very fast and very efficient with feedback gathering. And it's all about adapting based on the needs of our customers. If we introduce a new feature of a certain product, we go out there and we test that feature with 1,000 people. And then we listen, we gather both quantitative and qualitative feedback to see how those how our users perceive that feature. Does it provide value? Does it solve any part of that problem that we're? Or maybe we just miss the whole target. If that's the case, we just dodge that and we introduce a new thing building it. So it's all about executing over and over again and going until we hit the target. So therefore, this fail fast mentality that I love and I could emphasize more. Also, let's bring failure to the table just for the 1 minute. I have a feeling that failure is not being talked a lot for some strange reason. There's a stigma thrown at startup failure. But keep in mind that failure is very normal thing if we talk about startup. I would argue that it's also in life. Like I failed a lot with a lot of different life aspects and paths, choices. Like my first startup failed miserably. We killed it after 2 years. I worked in one other startup that also didn't work out after 2.5 years. So had to put it to the startup very well. So those are failures that are beautiful because they brought me to the place I am now, and I got a lot of experience and a lot of insight that I get to use in everyday basis. And every success comes through failure. It's just a matter of how many times we have to fail. So in that sense, let's fail fast. Let's not bother ourselves too much about failing because it's normal. Failing is healthy. And let's learn from failing and move on.
Mirza,
It's as simple as that.
can I ask you one more question related to your, like you mentioned that you worked yourself within two startups, and you probably saw you of course saw many other startups during your acceleration program. And my question is here, like, concerning this user-centered design, what do you think the most common mistake startup founders and startup teams make in this kind of loop process? What do they undervalue, or what do they miss? Like, what kind of mistakes they make in this way? Maybe in some example, if you have.
Yes, the most common is not putting all your assumptions out there. Sometimes we are selective with our concept and assumptions we have regarding it. So in that sense, we might test certain aspect of our product, but the other ones that we are so much in love with, we'll leave it because it's amazing. Well, sometimes that drags the whole idea further and make the whole process more complicated if we test it 6 months later and realize that this doesn't work out. If I want to be even more concrete, um, we have one workshop which is about usability testing. So that workshop's goal is to introduce a bunch of useful tools and processes of gathering feedback and testing our product, our concept, you name it. It also introduces how we form, for example, questions and how do we collect feedback. And then the coach of the workshop, he briefly revisited some of the feedback collection methods that all teams have. And funny thing, like in current batch that is happening in this spring at the moment, we have 13 startups. So out of these 13 startups that got selected to be lead, 8 or 9 out of them had leading question. So if I ask you how many times you use Facebook a day, then that's a leading question. If I ask you what social media you're using and how often, that is neutral, not leading. You know what I mean? So if we have assumptions that we are not clear with ourselves, and then we want to get information just confirming our assumptions, then that often leads in one-way streets that it's difficult to come back from if you really go 6 months, 12 months developing something based on that selected feedback.
Thank you. I think, like, we will also touch about this leading question and natural question, but thank you for bringing this up, because I also believe this is like one of the most common mistake which can be found here. Thanks.
Yeah, and just testing, guys. Test over and over again. Validate whatever you have going on. Validation is something in startup world that never leaves you. It's not an activity that you do for first year, 2 years, and then now we are big, so. And just to give you a little information, Amazon, that we all know what it is and what they do, Amazon is launching 10,000 little experiments and testing every single day. So one of the biggest companies in the world and one of the most agile companies at the moment, according to criteria, is launching 10,000 new tests and experiments every single day. So that tells you how important is the aspect of testing and validating whatever you have going on. But let's move on as we are tight with time. Yes, UX design obviously huge part of user-centered design. So maybe this picture will even more simplify what we covered in previous slide. So information here equals research, right? If I want to build a motives there. This can be money, this can be growth, this can be equity, this can be investors, this can be board members, this can be, you name it, whatever rocks your boat. And then finally, user needs, which is the most important here. So when we combine all of these three, we have something called user experience. So if we, let's take, are you guys familiar with Volt, the food delivery company?
Do they operate in Russia?
You know what? Maybe they are. I'm not sure about that. But they are like.
No, they don't. They only work here in Estonia.
All right.
Yeah. So, anyways, for those that maybe don't know, Volt is food delivery company. So you are at home hungry. You go at their app or platform, website, whatever. You go pick XYZ restaurant, pick the meal, and then they deliver it in your home for a certain amount of time, 30, 40 minutes, depending on where you live. So, with Volt, there's information right there. So let's you know what? Let's switch tables. Let's take user perspective for the moment. Like we as users, what's our need here? We are hungry, right? And it's I don't know. It's Saturday morning or Sunday morning, and we had a night out, and we want to relax. And I'm tired. I am hangover from last night, and I really just want to have some food. So that's my need. My goal is to have that food delivered right there at my place. And then information is the platform that I'll be using. So not information in pure sense that I'm aware of Volt, but I'll go and explore in Volt's catalog what I want to have. Or let's switch tables from Volt perspective. Information that they have is based on users. So they try to figure out what our user needs, why one user will pay more to get it delivered, and what days are the most busy days and all of that. And then for them, business goals are kind of obvious, right? They are running a business, they want to make money. Let's go to the common, to the very, very bottom level. So if Volt delivers food to me in 20 minutes, and they promise to deliver it in 30 minutes, and food is great and warm, I'm super satisfied. So the whole user experience is really complete. If Volt delivers food in 20 minutes, but food sucks, user experience is not very good. Vice versa, if food is great and warm, but Volt delivers it in 55 minutes instead of 30, again, not very satisfied. So user experience is really combining all three different aspects of user-centered design, and that's the final result that we have from user perspective. Also yours, but what we care about is how user feels about what we do. How do we solve users' problem? Is user now fed and didn't wait too long? That's Volt's concern, right? They don't care if I don't know user is running out of washing detergent or something, because that's not what it is. So, time, quality, overall satisfaction. Those are their touching points. All right, a little bit about team dynamics. So here, team dynamics is basically unconscious, like psychological forces that influence the direction that we take our team's performance or team's behavior. So they are like team dynamics can take team in certain directions the way you, for example, if you leave a little what's called paper plane in the water, in the not still water but in the sea, for example, you'll see how he takes it left, right, up and down. So the same goes with team dynamics. They are silent, and it takes our team in certain direction that we are aware or not. Why investors talk so much about team dynamics in investing? One other thing keep in mind when investors engage with startups, they are always looking for team more than idea itself. This is if you if you if you take one thing from today's presentation, like if you go home and in a week from today you have to remember one thing, remember this: team always goes over idea. Not that one excludes the other, but team is always something that anybody experienced is putting more focus than idea. Because idea will change anyways. In accelerator program we have, very few teams come enter the program and graduate with the same idea. 95% of ideas change at least a little. Some change entirely with business model, with product, with you name it, but they all change nevertheless. So team dynamics in that sense is something that investors are very careful, and this is like a delicate part of team aspect. In that sense, to be a little bit more thorough, we could easily outline these three aspects, these three vectors of team dynamics. So shared perspective here means that basically each team member inspires others to work for the common goal, right? That's why now we come back to the vision talk we had a few slides ago. So we have to make a team that works well together, team that empowers each other, inspires each other, and then therefore implementation better, results better, team harmony, chemistry, all of that very important for final goal. Then we have constructive conflict. So basically here constructive conflict is you might stumble upon differences even in what we call perfect teams, right? So differences might manifest in the form of opinions about certain products or feature or process, and sometimes this conflict or this exchange of opinions can escalate to personal understanding. So in that sense, constructive conflict is always something that good founders keep very close, and they are very sensitive to how they take this, because it's very important to have exchange of ideas and opinions. The end idea here is not to just stop any constructive conflict, but just to know how to steer it when one happens. And then finally, psychological safety. Well, basically this here means that team members feel free to suggest ideas, to bring new stuff on the table, or to ask questions, or to give feedback to others. Like all the time, I learn a lot from my startups because they give me a lot of feedback about how we can make the program better. Like I am not Mr. Perfect when it comes to this, like running when I study. No, all the time I learn from them, and every next batch, Maxim knows this. Now we piloted a totally new integration model. So every next batch, I'm changing the model release based on the feedback we get and experimenting with it. I have no idea, for example, how this one will go, especially now with moving over.
So you're running it like a startup. You also test hypotheses and ideas in your accelerator with the feedback loop.
I have to practice what I preach. Like I cannot be saying what I share with you guys now, and me not applying those principles myself. So I think only that's why failure is where the growth lays. Again, getting back to sports analogy, if you have a team that is winning, that team doesn't change the tactics because it's winning, right? We don't change when everything is going good. But when we lose, that's where we learn from. Like losses are where we ask, okay, what went wrong? What did we do wrong? What we need to change? Same with this. We have to not settle. We always have to pilot. We have to experiment. We have to change and to see what comes out. And therefore, psychological safety in the team aspect is super important, because you don't want to have team members who have ideas, but they keep them for themselves because they're afraid that their ideas will be criticized or laughed on or taken as less valuable. We want to have appreciation of everybody's input and to value everybody's presence in the team and listen to each other. Any question so far, not on this slide? Maybe I'm moving a little bit too fast. Okay, you're one very active group. I know you. Cool.
It's always a
Finally,
challenge with the online communications. I think it's much easier when that's another drawback from I see from distance learning. Like the interaction process goes a little bit slower than in normal classes. At least what I've observed.
it is. It is. I'm just joking, of course. It's great that it's happening. Let's put it that way. So I'm so happy that we get the chance to do it. Finally, we'll spend maybe a few more minutes on this one than the previous, but we'll see why. Um, I try to put all mistakes that I faced from both my personal experience and the experiences of others that I work with into these four groups of mistakes, let's call them so. You probably noticed that throughout this presentation I take a lot of little experiences from my startup experience back and put it on the table to share with you guys. So that's what we're gonna do here as well. If we move to mistake group number one, there will be what we kind of talked a little bit, but now we're gonna go more deeper. When teams are focused on product and not the user. The problem here is that people don't put users first. What generally happens is, as we said, the founder gets an idea, builds a solution, he's trying to sell the solution, people not necessarily want to buy it, the founder runs out of money, out of time, out of energy, the startup dies. That's startup life in 10 seconds. So what we do to solve this is put customer in the spotlight, and again getting back to user-centered approach, we really carefully listen what customers need and what part of the problem we are solving is captured. Yeah, what kind of problem value we are solving is captured by the customers, and he sees that as valuable rather than just another app out there, another feature that they have anyways. And along the same lines, we have to always modify our product development based on that. That is why I overemphasize this feedback aspect and feedback habits. So listening more of customers' feedback, listening more of customer needs, and tailor our product based on that. Just so we are productive here, I didn't want to just point out the problem without any solution. So I did my best to provide some solution to every single problem. For this specific problem, well, obviously, right? Just go talk to your customers, your users. Maintain user relationship all the time. Be creative how you do it. Some user testing requires some money. Some requires no money if you know how to go around this in a good way. Always ask the product we are selling, is it bringing any value or not? For me, that's the biggest question in product
Can I
development.
ask a question?
Yes, please do.
Can I ask a question? Yes. Okay. Talking about you keep talking about apps, so I'll ask about that. How do you talk to future or potential app users before the app goes into the market? How do you do that type of research? And how do you actually communicate with the users while you are in the development phase?
Right. Thank you for the question. It's really it's good and spot on. What we do
Do you
if
hear
we,
me?
yeah, what we would do if we have an app that solves XYZ problem, um, we have mock-up sessions where even before the final version of an app is, like way before, we create mock-ups of that app the way teams imagine it to be. So mock-ups can be basically a screenshots, or it can be a very, pardon my French, shitty version of the app. So it can involve only two features. And then there are a bunch of tools out there that allows you to reach a lot of people from your target group. For your reference, like you can all Google later usabilityhub.com or IO, like I'm not sure. But if you Google usability hub, you'll probably find it on the top of SEO results in Google. So usability hub offers exactly that. You buy testing credits, and then you have a lot of filters. You can choose, for example, my target group is grandmas who are between 69 and 74, who live in Tampere region and who buy food in K-Market groceries. Obviously, that filter wouldn't have thousands of grandmas because grandmas probably are not on usability hub so much. But just for the sake of giving an idea, so then you would, within a very short period of time, you will get feedback on mock-up that you send them. So remember, we still don't have an app ready. We just have some screenshots of an app, the way it's going to look like, and we navigate the customer through that. Or wireframes are another very useful tool how you can make an app before you have. And then, based on the feedback we get from our target group, we learn from it and we see, we have this aha moments, right? Oh, why we didn't think of this? Yeah, it makes sense. Nobody is clicking the right top corner feature. Like, I don't know, notify me later, for example. Nobody really wants to be notified. So there's obviously no need for that little feature to be there. Let's just get it out. Let's introduce something else, or let's not put anything there. So it's really easy in terms of how, from technical aspect, how that works, and super useful because it gives so much information of our target group without really even having to know every one of these grandmas, for example, personally, right? So there are a lot of tools like that that really save a lot of time. I don't know if this answered the question that you asked.
Okay, thank you. Yes, it does. Thank you.
Yeah. And again, what we said about planning, no plan survives its first contact with the market. That's like a rule of thumb. So don't spend months over planning. Don't spend months making business plans or drawing your mock-ups too much. Take as little as you need to put your ideas on any canvas that you use. I know that you use some basic canvases like Lean Business Model Canvas and so on. So we have also, if you go to Miro.com, Miro is amazing and we use it now a lot for workshopping online. You have so many tools, even with free package, you don't have to pay anything. So many canvases that you can do online, and you can really like explore your idea development really far without even having to spend a single minute. So just more agile approach, more doing, less planning, because plans make sense only as much as anything else in this world, right? Nobody planned us to be here online, but it happens, so we adapt. Group mistakes number 2. is lack of direction. This also includes lack of focus. I'll elaborate. What is the problem here? We have focus way too spread. We have a team or a founder who is really doing a lot of stuff at the same time, but nothing really entirely. So this kind of touches the next mistake point that we're gonna go after this slide, but let's not spoil it. Uh, this group mistake has to do also with guiding and with coaching. So a lot of times what we expect from mentors is not to um, do, do the work for us, but to pinpoint some new avenue that we haven't seen otherwise, or to provide a new way of doing the same thing. And that's not at the end of the day what they do. The problem is if you have 20 different mentors giving you 20 different advices. That is sometimes also the case because 20 different people. Right? So that also can mess up the focus. It can lead to some not so productive directions, which are costly in terms of time, energy, resources, sometimes even burnouts. So in that sense, prioritizing is important. And yeah, like obviously those are the silent killers of startups. I use a little bit stronger language here, but um, having a false confidence of proper guidance is as harmful as having no guidance at all. So in that sense, what we need to do is, at this point, now I'm capturing more early startup development. So we have to focus only on users and products. That's where our 95% of focus should be. Exploring user as much as possible, again getting back to feedback aspect, and developing product, just learning from what user needs. Lack of direction also can be this fame element of startups. In startup world, it's very easy to start going to all events and conferences, right? Like you guys maybe have been to Slush and you get a feeling how do those events look. So it feels nice that you're a founder and you have amazing startups and you get to meet all these investors that are interested in you. But a lot of startups lose a lot of time and energy doing that because this is not the Hollywood as much as it is the garage work. This is again getting back to main myths of startup that I would say you probably covered in previous classes. People always imagine startups to be more glamorous than it really is. This is dirty work, you know. And great thing is that we work towards something amazing. We are changing the world with our ideas, but it's far from that we have flexible working hours only, and we have little nice title on social media saying CEO and founder of Amplify or whatever, and then we have to, we get investments just like that. That's my friends who don't know startups. That's how they imagine guys are. Oh, these startups, yeah, they have this nice concept that is very innovative, and some investor comes and asks, okay, how much? And then they get money and they spend money on whatever, and they beer and pizza and food. So it's really not like that. That like the whole investment and the whole flexibility part is just the final goal that comes if you do everything right before. But it's a lot of persistence and hard work. So in that sense, the more sharper focus is, the better. And if you have to choose what to focus on, I would say put your money on user and product. Just do that for the first 2-3 years until you have proven your concept.
If you guys remember the essay you wrote, why you should and why I should not start a startup, and well, I actually very much enjoyed the I would use the word maturity because most like I would say all of you like pointed out that it is really hard, and some of you are even already participating in some startups, and you're all kind of aware of these whys. Why do you need to start a startup? So like, and what Mirza is now saying is like actually resonates with me again, like the topic we had, why you should start a startup, and how it's presented and how it actually looks like. So like I very much thanks for bringing that up again.
Yeah, great. Then this one is, I guess, very self-explanatory, right? So just some numbers that were supposed to um, provide more insight into why 1% team is not a great idea. Um, Regardless, like I said, like very obvious that you have to do all the work, which is very difficult, right? Then also it has to do about delivery and implementation. Um, Getting back to startup experience within the accelerator, and with my experience working with around 60, 65 startups so far, it's always the case with solo founders that they move rather slow, and they are the first one to hit struggling point in that journey, and it sucks big time because there's less moral support than multi-member teams have, and also I don't think I included here, but startup solo founders are 12 times, statistically speaking, more keen to um, quit startup in first 2 years. So all these numbers are probably enough explaining why this is not a brilliant idea. Um, so yeah, solution kind of obvious, right? Um, Try to engage people with whatever you're building, because remember, it all starts from one of us. So try to sometimes even dig in personal networks. Um, in investor circles, you have thing called FFF, 3Fs, and it stands for friends, family, and fools. That's where first investments usually come from. So try to if you are missing an IT person and you have a friend that is really not working with any startup, knock on the door of that friend. Just write him a message, and or her, and say, hey, I really need somebody to help me with this, or vice versa. Like whatever you're missing, we all have now very extended networks online, and people usually help each other. So uh, sometimes it starts from there. But in big picture, uh, have a vision of what kind of team you need. Try to fish all the time for the team. That also includes pitching your idea and talking to people about what you do all the time. I have a lot of regrets that with my first startup I didn't do that enough, because I had also a different mindset, thinking, why would some random person out there care about what I am building? Yeah, I don't want to bother with people like that. And even at events that bring together like-minded people, like founders, mentors, investors, I would often hesitate to share it enough. Although I was sharing, but from this perspective, I would have done it 10 times more. So just talk with people about what you do. You never know who you're gonna stumble upon. You never know who will fall in love with the idea you are developing, and or to put it even differently, the problem you're solving. Is what we said. It's about problem solving. And early scaling. This one kind of stands out because we were talking in the context of early stage development, but nevertheless, once MVP has been functional and concept is proven, most of startups have scaling and growth in mind. So the question is sometimes, is there such a thing as early scaling? But all indicators that you can find um, online, and also if you ask different investors who work last 20 years in startups, scale too early. And basically that means scaling too much and too soon. Uh, Good thing is, how can we identify that we are about to scale too early? I put these two questions down. One is, one has to do with lifetime value of your customer. Again, customer here means also user. So if lifetime value of your customer keeps varying and changing all the time, it tells you that you still didn't hit that bullseye just yet. And there's something wrong with lifetime value fluctuation. Second is about business model. Question, is your business model repeating? If the answer is no to either of those, then it means you are not, again, generally speaking, you are probably not ready to scale just yet. Business model repetition proves that we figured out the right business model for what we are, the value we are providing, the product we are selling. If one target group, business model for one target group works out brilliantly and it sucks entirely for very similar target group, believe me, there's something fishy there. So that just means we have to explore that aspect a little bit more and figure out what is our blind spot here. What is what we are not able to see just yet. So, as we said, every problem we agree to offer a solution. So, here, what is the solution? I broke down into 3 different phases. So, let's go phase by phase. Problem, solution, fit. This first phase, it's about basically figuring out who are your primary users, like we said. What problem they want to solve, and how you're going to make money, how you're going to monetize from these fields. Sometimes that means you gotta find a problem that is big enough so your business model is viable. To find enough users that would like to have their problem solved, meaning that people who are ready to pay for whatever you're offering. And that makes one completion of one phase. In Bedrock Accelerator, we are doing mostly activities that have to do with problem solution. If I have to divide into percentages, we do 60% of activities in problem solution fit, 20% of product market, and the remaining, how much we have, 60? No, maybe like 70 problem solution, 20% product market, and 10% internal. So let's move to product market fit. Again, one of the terms that you'll be hearing a lot out there. This phase is about creating a demand of the product or a service that you develop and is hopefully large enough for your market to be monetized again. That means that you already tested, you validated, and you figured out basic features of your product based on feedback that we hopefully did in first phase, problem solution fit phase. Once you have figured that out, then we try to work out product market. And in plain English, product market fit means that a product you are offering to a certain user group is making enough money to make the business sustainable. So that means, I have this wireless mouse here, and I put my product out there, people keep buying. And not only for like a month, but you like trace that month after month, we have a constant growth of say 11% or I don't know, exponential growth. Okay, so product market fit is there. And finally, the third phase is channel fit phase. This is basically about lowering acquisition costs or lifetime value cost or whatever other money related questions you might have regarding your startup company. And the main goal here is to increase profit. So a lot of times you'll have people exploring different channels sake of finding bigger market, but for the sake of finding efficient way to deliver the same value to the end customer, because that simply saves more money and therefore makes bigger profit for everybody. And chronologically, if I have to put it, we have to go this way. We cannot start with channel fit and go to problem solution fit, because it makes no sense to build the roof first and then go to foundation of the house. First we do foundation, then walls, then roof comes to the end. So
Mirza, can I ask you one more question about channel fit? I know that it's probably a later stage for the early stage startups, or when we are talking about that. But anyway, since many many of our students are engineering students, so they will face, and I think also for international business students, they will also face very often in their career, even if it's not for startups, they will face these B2B sales, like from business to business. And from that point of view, did you have any experience on testing different channels, like because in B2B normally, like as we know, it's cold email, cold phone calls, conferences, and stuff like that. So, like, do you have any channel feed for business to business?
yeah, we had few startup examples in the last batch that were typical B2B startup. Uh, what they figure out, which is interesting now as you speak, that they come to my mind. What they figure out is that they were in B2B and they ended up being in B2B to C. Now I don't know if that is confusing, but basically they figured out to sell the product to the end customer through the partner who is in the middle of that process. Practicalities, how you get to how you get around cold calls and ignoring really depends on the company, really depends on a sector. For example, construction businesses are uh, more conservatory industries, so for them, for example, um, video conferencing might not work in normal conditions, or emailing so much, but they prefer face-to-face meetings. But again, I think you guys kind of know this stuff because they are obvious. So it really depends on industry you're in. I think it depends. It goes again down to research and information, how much you know about your industry, and that's where sometimes these events bring value, because a lot of people I ended up working with are not people I approached online, but we managed to connect in another way, and found common ground, and therefore later on ended up working. So I know I gave one very general answer, but it really depends. From if we go from team to team, we'll notice very different behaviors and very different paths how we get from there to one functional channel fit.
I see. Thank you for that.
Right. Um, yeah. Let's summarize what we went through last 10, 15 minutes. So we said mistake group number one, we are focusing on user and what user needs, right? We are not focusing on our product only and how amazing design and feature is going to have, but instead we listen to customer needs. Number two, guidance. The more clear direction and focus, we move faster. Simple as that. Number three, again, this is not the easy journey. Startups are very demanding. They require a lot of energy, a lot of work, a lot of hours, a lot of you name it. So the more the merrier. The bigger team, the more versatile team. The bigger team, the more promising team also from investment point of view. And the last but not the least, does our growth means that we have to scale up this place. Scaling up, in my opinion, thank you for being so patient and listening and bearing with me. Uh, this time slot gives us just as much time as we have. That's why I put my contact info here. Please get in touch if you want to ask about anything or if you need any help regarding startup development. Because that's what I do. That's what I love doing, and I would also like to meet all of you individually and hear from you if you're up to that. So reach out. I'm easy person to talk with. So I'd be more than happy to have a chat. Um, Maybe we can go through some Q&As finally if Maxim is okay with that. And I think we are kind of fitting the time limit, I guess. What's time?
Yeah, let's have a few questions if we have any, and I hope we do, and like maybe a couple of them because we will also need to cover something in 20 minutes, and probably then we still have some materials to cover, and then we will finish. So, please, any questions so far?
Hello, can I ask a question?
Yes, please do.
Yeah. As you said, it's a long journey, so when you take someone together to set up the company, so how can I say how to divide the ownership uh, of the company?
Right, that's a good question. Often in early stage development, teams do not discuss those issues. That is also a mistake because it can lead to slight misunderstandings. Now we have forums that are available for free. If you go to thehub.io, and on the website they have a section called tools and templates. You will find employment contract form, MBA forms, equity forms, share agreement, all these little stuff that are of legal nature, but that help teams use and divide, for example, equity and shares even before those have any monetary value. So it's good that you asked because in practice, I tell you what, most of teams ignore these and they revisit just one time for first investment calls. And as you can imagine, might again getting back to the constructive conflict, right? You might have different perceptions within the team how they perceive who is having how big of an ownership.
Yeah. The name of the company?
The hub .io, I think.
Oh, thank you.
Do we have some other questions or comments maybe? Thanks as well. You guys have been really great and patient. I wish you a lot of luck with the rest of the course, and you are what is called in startup world early adopters, because this course is happening for the first time with Maxim, and you signed up for that, and that's kind of amazing. So good job, and continue to be curious about startups, even if you never end up working in one, which I hope you do at some point. But just saying, you are curious minds, and keep up the good work and continue like that.
Mirza, thank you so much for joining us. And like that was the whole session was like the whole session of wisdom you can get from the from an expert who's working tightly with startups. I also put the link here about the hub.io here on the chat, the ones which Mirza mentioned, and as I know Mirza, and please actually contact him if you have any questions regarding startups. So like one of the most open-minded person and really helpful with that. So I really encourage you to do that, and yeah, stay curious about startups, about anything in the world. That's probably one of the most valuable wishes I could acknowledge. We will have,
Thank you,
yeah.
Martin, for very nice words. And again, it was my pleasure. And I guess I'll leave you guys finish the lecture now. So once more, have a great rest of the week and stay positive because this will go away very soon. We'll get back to it.
Thank you. I will switch to the sharing the screen here again, and we will very briefly go through the lecture, and then we will finish probably in 20 minutes. The only thing I wanted to add with the team is that your team is probably should look not like that, like on the picture, and that's the most common picture what you receive in the internet when you put startup team, or but like that. And here what I mean is that there should be a team who is gathered with the project passion. You actually need the team which is really passionate about what they do. Always, like when you search for the team, always when you're hiring already, and don't do that in the very early stage, but when you're hiring someone into the team, so make sure that you do proactive search. Use your network, always check on references. Don't just use put the on LinkedIn and use just LinkedIn. Use your network and try to make behavioral interview, and please Google the term. You will find lots of tips on that, so we will go a little bit fast on here. And always set the results, not just the job description, but expected results from the person. On the team as well, is that really important that you work together, at least on some projects. You really need to hire a person who actually meet the mission and the vision and the corporate culture of your team. And please do not hire at the beginning. It's one of the most common mistakes founders do. They hire salespeople or they hire the engineers, and those should be at the very beginning, you or your co-founders. We will talk about assignments a little later, but first I would like to briefly go through the marketing and sales and your next assignment. Because marketing and sales really important, and since you're like a first time founder and you've never done any marketing and sales, like it's actually much easier to do than it seems. So don't be threatened by these mysterious marketing and sales words. It's actually very easy when you have the product which is solving an actual problem, and that's how you find it out. You talk to your potential customers, so and that's how your sales actually begins. Are you guys still with me? Because it's saying something about the internet connection, so I want to make sure we are still here. Please, if someone can tell me that you still can hear me. Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
Good, so we keep going. So you actually need to answer these 4 questions. What do I actually sell? and you have to be very very specific. Like it's not like some application, or it's not like some kind of sensor, or it's not some kind of services, but it's actual benefit for your customer. So you're selling not a thing, but you're selling a benefit, like or a tool which is solving an actual problem. So then you understand who actually needs that, and you have to figure it out how you find them, and you have to figure it out the people who are actually paying for that or influence the decision making for that, because the person who are signing the check, who is paying the bill, and who is influencing the decision might be different people, especially in business to business B2B sales. So often sales process is represented as detective. So you have to be a detective here. So especially in business to business, you have to be looking for the right people to talk, and that actually requires a really to be persuasive. So you have to be persistent and really do the job over and over again, because sometimes when you write just one email and no one replies to you and you just give up, so or think that they are not interested, well, this is not true. You have to write an email, make a follow-up call, then make an agreement, then write an email again, and this is a really long process. So if you think that you're pushing too hard, so you need to push at least twice harder than you think. So here are some tips. You need to be looking for the customers rather than make a PR program for your product. Always be looking for your customers, and that's the best sales process you can do. As we mentioned, people don't buy what, they don't buy an app or a service, they buy why. Why do I buy that? What kind of benefits it creates? For instance, for those who wear glasses or contact lenses, they actually help you to see better. And your customers are not all the people who are having problems with the seeing clearly, but those who are actually in need for that, like those who are working with computers, or those who read a lot, or those who need to look into closer details. So like always concentrate on benefits of which your product brings to the customers, and always ask customers whether they in need for those kind of benefits. That will bring you to your clients, and that will bring you to that product for a certain customer. Here is a really important thing I want to emphasize: your client segmentation. You actually did that during your group assignments, during your practical assignments in a lean startup creation, and your segmentation from the sales and marketing point of view is where the most pain is. And who can tell me what pain actually means here on this graph? Someone? I will pick one. Okay. Can Anna, can you tell us what do you think pain mean here? Yes. Yeah, thank you. It's actually true. Like it's like the most unsatisfaction, like the most crucial problem I have with this kind of case. There are other categories, like for instance, people like let's again example with glasses. Like not all the people who are actually don't see very clearly or have problems with eyes, they actually wear glasses because they might not have this problem that in this crucial need. So you always need to find the group of people who are in actual need, who in such that it can correlate with the word pain here. So because if your product does not work in this segment where the clients struggle with the most crucial issue, then there is something wrong with your product or with your segmentations. So this is a red flag for redoing something. And if this is the case, if your top segment here does not buy from you, so you actually need to get back to your customers and talk to them again. So you need to talk to your potential clients, interview, focus group, and learn customer behavior. Here, I would suggest personal meetings with the customers, but also phone calls or over support line can also help you to learn a lot from your users. You learn from them. So how do they actually look at the problem? How do they solve it right now? And who do they actually trust during their decision-making process? And the most important here to emphasize is that you actually focus on the feedback, but you need to interpret it right. And here is the quote to remember this this issue. So if Henry Ford was always saying, like, if I had asked people what they wanted, they would have said faster horses. And what actually people needed is just to move from point A to point B faster, on a faster and more convenient manner. Means back to those time by car. Today probably we can find a better solution than cars. So who knows? It could be a good startup. Flying drones could help. All right. So here it goes for the team assignment, and I just want to tell you about this book. It's called Mom Test, and you will have to do this team assignment all together. So you will have to read the first chapter. It's roughly 20 very small pages, so you will read it very fast. The book is very easy to find in the internet. You just Google the Mom Test PDF, and you likely will find this book. If you have any problems with finding this book, so please let me know. I have PDF version of that. So then you will have to compare the questions and how to run user interview. You will have to compare how you did this in your inside canvas. So when you had to run user interview and talk to your potential clients, and whether you write the comparison essay or you redo this canvas, it's up to you. So you pick, but you actually have to, whether you upload in your canvas or whether you upload your group essay here in the group. So either ways is actually good. This is actually very much important, and when you read this 20 pages, you will understand how actually important that is, and how actually fake could be talking to your users, like how many fake information you can get if you don't do this right, and this is very simple to do right. The essential topics to get out of here is to talk about their problems, not about your product, to find out specifics of the problem they face. And you have to listen. Actually, the best salesperson are those who listen a lot, not those who talk a lot. So, and always asking open questions, and don't push clients to the right answer whether they would use your product or not. Always. And you will find a very narrow down instructions and examples here on just it will take probably like 15 to 20 minutes to read this first chapter. But the importance of that is that actually when you sell anything, like when you sell not just product for your startup, but when you do it for any product development process or in any company, because nowadays the product development and sales process are very widely spread in any domains. So when you do that, you actually can apply this kind of principles. So this is highly important to understand, and this book provides you a very easy understanding of that. So this is your assignment. I wish I could go further, but most of it you will understand from the from this book. Working with feedback is actually an important phase. You work with your organized support line, and the person who answers support line is you. So you run questionnaires, but run them at least at the very beginning, like first phase of your product solution feed, which Mirza talked about. That must be not automated, so make it face-to-face or on phone calls. And you need to get your users using your product often, and even during the sales they need to get back to you or buying your services over and over again. So, and that requires any kind of processes, talking to you customers and to users. So run this kind of conversation in any domain. Highly recommend it. So, and here are sources. So we were kind of fast here. Well, you have your assignment, and another assignment will be to do a next one, only one canvas. Next one, I will put it in the group along with the lecture slides. And well, this is it from me for the class. And do you have any questions so far?
No, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for the attention. It's been a long class, but I think we've gathered a lot of interesting and highly important information. The class and the videos will be available on the group, as well as slides, and I will put assignments. A few words on your assignments. As I already mentioned, I really enjoy to read what you write down on the essays and individual assignments. So please continue to do that. I also encourage you to finish the individual course assignments. So please start to, for those who haven't started to read the book from 0 to 1, please do so. It's a very compact book, but please, you have to finish that and write an essay about that. And it's highly important to take your time to think of that. Because that will formulate also your further understanding of where to go and how to go, and what steps you need to do to succeed in your future career in if you will choose the area of innovation. Okay, but so far thank you very much, and have a good luck. And any questions with the assignments? Yes. Yeah. Yes.
How many more assignments do we have before the end of the lecture?
You mean before the end of the course?
Yes.
Well, they all still on the group. We can actually go through them if you want.
Okay. Now, how many more? I remember the last one that we had was why I would not start a startup, and then you just gave us this assignment now. Do we have another one again?
No, not about that one. I said about the book from 0 to 1. If do you remember the assignment about the book from 0 to 1?
Okay. I think I wasn't aware that there's an assignment on the book.
Yeah, you will have to read this book from zero to one. It was because it was in that's why I reminded that because it was in the very beginning of the class. So that's probably there could be a misunderstanding on that. But there is no worries. The book is really small. Here it is. If you can see, here is the this assignment. The deadline, of course, not the end of March. The deadline I will change that. The deadline will be something in the middle of April because we still have classes ongoing at least until 8th of April, and then we will have one extra week to complete all the assignments you have left. So no worries about that. You still have time, and I'm quite flexible with that. You still will have to accomplish all the assignments to get credits, but we can negotiate about the deadlines. I will put official deadlines, and that will be better for your interests because you have other courses running, and I'm sure there are quite many of them with deadlines by the end of May. So by the end of April, I hope that we will finish all the assignments and I will be able to post all the credits for you. Um, but rather than that, please.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Maxim,
Yes.
I wasn't here for in like 15 minutes because I had another meeting
All right.
with this project because I thought this will end like 17:45.
Yes, certainly. I'm sorry about that. We took a little longer today.
No, it's not a problem. I understand. However, what did you discuss it about? Because right now I'm just seeing like an assignment things.
Okay, so uh, we had this presentation here, and you will be able to to listen to that. That was very brief, but I think that was really important to understand about sales process and about client segmentation. So please make sure there will be a video of that, so you will be able to listen to that. But one thing I want to emphasize is that you have a group assignment, and here it is. You will have to read a first chapter of the mom test. Really small, but really important to understand, and they explain so well in first 20 pages. So please read them, and that's why I made this assignment, because this is a brilliant book on how to talk to your users and what kind of mistakes you do normally when you talk to your users for the first time. So, and the assignment is to read the first chapter, compare to your user interview from the inside canvas. You remember last time we were discussing this kind of canvas when you have to talk to your users and what you learn from them. I hope that you did this kind of user interview and you interviewed the farmers and the clients of the farmers, and at least several of them, and you got some insights from that. But the way how you did that will strongly correlate with the way what they write and what they tell in this first chapter. So you whether will have to write the comparison essay of how you did that assignment, this kind of user interviews by yourself, and how do they suggest you to do in this first chapter, or you will have to redo the inside canvas. So you will have to go to the users again, to the new users and or potential clients, and to talk to them in the proper manner, how you've learned from the mom test. And you will have to download, upload the new version of your. You will have to upload the newest canvas done, like the same canvas, but do it again. Oh, all right, with your team, a comparison essay about the book. So this is totally up to you. I also discussed it during the lecture, during this 15 minutes. So you will hear in more details if you listen to that again.
Yeah, so where we can find it, because as we
Timna is not available. The book is not available. I'm pretty sure that you cannot go to the library right now. So, can we find that book on ebook?
Thank you for
Or
for the question actually, because I also told that during the yeah, but the easiest version, it's very easy to find. You just type in the Google the mom test PDF, and they will the first two or three links will be this PDF version. The book is roughly 100 pages long, 120 I think. But if you have, it's really easy to find, but if you have any problems, I have the PDF version of that, so just let me know and I will share that, but you will easier find it in Google.
I
yeah,
already found it like open in Word.
Sorry, I couldn't catch
I
that.
already found it's really easy and open it in Word.
Yeah, yeah, thank you. You're really fast students, so you're really doing everything fast, so I really appreciate that. Yeah, it's really easy to find, and probably you already start, but you will read that, and most of what we cover, the importance of this lecture, is how to talk to users, and because it's a part of the sales process, and identifying the actual problem. So you will find that out in this book. Also about your first clients, this kind of obvious stuff, but also conferences and professional exhibitions, cold emailing, but this is already like advanced process of sales. And be creative, of course. Okay, so I cannot hold you any longer, it's already was too long, and so if you have any questions, ask me right now. I will I'm still here for you.
thank you, Maxim. Can I bother you a little bit more?
Absolutely, yes.
Because I wanted to download it. I have this last free antivirus, and from a lot of very places I cannot download it. I just downloaded one, but it's for 4 pages, so it's not that book. Can you please provide the PDF version?
Sure, sure, of course.
Thank you.
I
I'm
will
sorry.
I will upload it to the group. So
Okay, thank you.
you're welcome.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Maxim.
Yeah,
Thank you.
you're welcome. You're welcome. If any questions during the week, and please just write me a message in Facebook or WhatsApp. So let's stay in touch.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Maxim.
You're welcome. Always welcome.
Bye.
Bye. Bye bye.
Bye.
Goodbye. And take care, guys.
Yes, thank you. Bye.